We've just discussed the, what the prospect is for the shipping sector. I would like to ask you one question. One of the themes that we have touched today is the exposure of German banks to shipping assets. So my question is, how are German banks going to deal with their shipping exposure, which apparently is just for three of them over 60 billion? Are we going to see more of the same, so the mark to model sort of situation where banks are just going to say it's worth par and par we keep, or are we going to see banks selling their shipping assets in the market, and when?
I would first say that there's a certain frustration among investors and a surprise among international investors that the German banks didn't do so much so far. But my statement would be that the German banks indeed did something, working on their portfolios, working on internal reorganization, reshuffling of personnel, but also broadening their toolbox in the sense that they try to develop new methods of restructuring, and in the end the challenge for the banks is to cope with the non-performing loans. And if you look at the non-performing loans and the ratio of loan provisions built so far, we have to say that there's still a way to go before the banks are really able to act and to maybe to sell loans. So we still are in a sit and wait game to a certain extent, but I think there's a window which will open over the next let's say 12 to 18 months, where the banks will start cautiously first to make some template deals and try to sell a niche portfolio or something. What we already see now is package deals where the banks try to sell a number of assets in a package deal to a stable and solid ship owner to company, which then helps by new money, but also by their management competence to stabilize the assets, but also to stabilize the loan. So what we basically, I expect the banks still being reluctant and cautious, but starting, and latest by the end of next year, I think we will have a situation where the bid-ask spread, if you want, will have the level of make it an interesting partnership or interesting deal between new investors from the private equity side, for example, or from distressed funds, and the banks on the other side.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Philip.